Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Modern Office Survival Guide. Imagine you are in a business meeting with your colleagues discussing how a particular team in the office can improve. You cannot just show them a spreadsheet full of meaningless data. You need to make a chart that will give this data purpose and importance in the eyes of the audience. Charts made from Excel have all sorts of uses. They can improve any presentation, present data in meaningful ways, and they can show a team where they are selling high and where they are selling low. For today's example, we will make a chart using Microsoft Office Excel. Our sales spreadsheet has lots of good data in it. However, this data loses all meaning and purpose if our audience can't learn from it in a timely manner. We will be giving this data meaning by turning it into a simple little chart that our audience can understand and learn from in a moment's glance. First step, we need to click and highlight the data that we want to put into our chart. Next, we need to select the Insert menu in the top left corner. The Insert menu has a plethora of different tools that we can choose from. However, today we will be focusing on the Recommended Charts feature. Now that we click the Recommended Charts feature, Excel will recommend to us a chart based on the data that we've selected. Now, all of these charts have good merits and they all have good purposes. But for today's example, we'll be using the clustered column chart. The clustered column chart organizes our data in a purposeful and meaningful way. And most importantly, our audience will be able to understand and learn from the data collected in this chart at a moment's notice. Our data is organized, it has purpose, and it has meaning. Clearly, we can see where we are selling high, where we are selling low, and what techniques make the most sales for our office. As you can see, the Recommended Charts feature is a very helpful tool that allows us to give our data meaning. It can easily help us create the perfect chart based on our data set. However, we can further improve upon our chart and make it even more appealing to our audience, giving it color codes. Once our chart is color coded, our audience will be able to understand where they need to improve, what specific areas they're doing well in, and in some cases, in color coding, we just want to bring attention to a specific part of the graph, make it easier to see. We can customize our chart in two ways. The first way, we single click on a particular area. After we single click on it, we double click it, and after we've double clicked it, the Format Data Point menu will appear. This fill option will appear. Next, we'll be able to give this data point a color code. I'd say this is a really remarkable performance right here. So let's give our chart a nice light green. This way our audience knows they sold really well there using this particular technique. Next, let's say, for example, we want to format an entire data series. Bring some attention to it. We can right-click it, and now we scroll down and click the Format Data Series option. Next, we click the paint can in the left. This fill-in line tool, exactly the same way we change the color of one option, we can now change an entire data series instead of just one data point. Make it red. This shows that we need to bring these sales in this area up a little bit. Things are lacking in the outside the office sales. Either we need to perhaps cut out this technique, or we need to further improve upon it. Now we have our little curve to edit. If we color code this curve the right way, our audience will be able to see at a moment's glance just how well we're performing, just where we're making the most sales and where we're, in some cases, not making any sales at all. So, this line graph on our chart actually is a bunch of different little data points. So if we single click a particular area and then double click on it, not unlike how we changed one color here, we're only going to end up changing one part of the graph. To do that, we're going to go down to the bottom of the Format Data Point menu, click the outline color, and we can show this is red because this part needs some improvement. They didn't sell as high here. Now over here, for example, you could change it up, single double click it. The Format Data Point menu will appear on the right. Outline color, make it green. They sold well here. Or if you don't want to segment the section of the line graph on the chart, right click it. Select the entire thing, Format Data Series, appears on the right hand corner. Go back over to the paint bucket on the left. Go down the color and just make it a color that's easy to see. Whatever color you want. Yellow, red. But since we're using red as a color that shows where our audience and our team needs to improve, we should choose a different color that they'll be able to easily pick out for our performance line chart. Now that our data set has been organized into a chart that gives our data meaning, is formatted properly, and is color coded to share where our office is succeeding and where our office needs to improve, our task is complete. Using charts, we can ensure our data is meaningful to our audience. We can ensure they learn where they are succeeding, what techniques are working proper, and where they need to improve. You now know how to pick the best chart for your data set and give your data meaning. This concludes this episode of Modern Office Survival Guide.